Alrighty, we're going to be installing a couple of outlets. One's going to be switched and one's going to be on all the time. Here in the country I was born in, we use 12 American wire gauge on 20 amps, 14 American wire gauge on 15 amps. Black is live, white is neutral, the bare or the green is the ground. Red and blue are also live colors. However, you may find white live in a 110, 120 volt switch loop or on a 220, 240 volt circuit where the appliance does not require a neutral. So we'll get this going and we'll put in these outlets.
You ready now?
Okay, so we're going to come out of this junction box right here. And we're going to put a box, double outlets right next to it here. So, trace it out with our marker here. Go. Keyhole saw and we'll cut a little notch. Good, there's nothing in the way. Down our side here. Over here. Okay, so we have our double box, we can push over here, we can open that up, so make sure this fits in here, which it is. So now we'll cut our next opening. Okay, we're going to put one here for the switched outlet. Right directly above it here. Down our sides. And here. And we'll get it here. So we'll come up a little bit on this here. Down on this a little bit. We're going to make a little notch for screw holes here. Make sure it's going to fit in here. This is an old work box, so when you tighten the screws, the wings come up and hold the box in the wall. Just going to make sure it's going to fit. Okay, so we have to get this back some more here. Yep, looks like it's going to fit. So now we'll get our... If you look closely here, the wire's made here in the country I was born in. That's a nice thing to see. Now we're going to drop our 12-3 down from up above. And it is also made here in the country I was born in. That's a nice thing to see. So we'll bend our camera up here and go up above here and start fishing our wire down. This is going to go to our first outlet. And one is going to be switched and one is not going to be switched. See the wire down there? Okay, so here's our 12-3. Be careful you don't bust your sheetrock out when you do this. There we go. And we'll bring our wires into the bottom of our box here. In. Wires in. We have to get some tail wire here. Wires in. And our box into the wall here. Snug it down. gets nice and flush into our wall here. So we'll just rip our jacket here a little bit on our ends. Wow, how nice it is to forget my pliers. I'm glad I forgot them. I love forgetting things. Nothing's more fun than forgetting stuff. Debris out of here. Oh, there's my pliers. Good, I'm glad I have them. So we're gonna cut our tails here. So we'll get our ground wires together here, and I'll ground our switch. Okay, I'm recording. All right, wires together. Nice and tight. Get them even on the end here. Use red wire nuts. Wire nutted here. You never just twist your ground wires. You got to either put a crimp sleeve on them or a wire knot. So we get our ground wires back into our box here. All right, there it is. Now we'll get our white wires together here. Okay, we can get our insulation even here on the bottom and our copper even on the end. And we're not going to twist them. I'll show you how to do them without twisting them. Get the copper even at the top and the insulation even at the bottom like this. Take the wire knot. Hold them in the bottom here. And just twist them until you get a nice little twist behind them. See how they're twisting up nice behind them here. Push them back into our box. Okay, so we're going to have our black one, our red one. We're going to have our red one switched. So we're going to put our blacks together. Just let it lay. Put them so all even here. Always strip with your numbered hole that matches the wire we're using. Because otherwise you can damage your insulation or your copper underneath. So we'll get them all even here. So get them so even like that. So we'll get them all even here, get our copper even at the top and our insulation even on the bottom. Take our wire nut, make sure all our wires get caught in the spring there. Hold them, just twist them on. And just, I hold the tail so they don't get moved inside the wire nut. Yeah, I got a nice twist down here. Push this into our box. Now we can hook our switch up. Alright. So we take about an inch of wire off. Your ground wire around the green screw here. Close the loop the direction the screw turns. Make sure it's nice and tight. I'm going to get my flathead if I have it. If I don't, I don't. Yeah, I got it. Nice and tight, like that there. Flip it around. Always put your wire around the screw, the direction the screw turns. Yeah, just gonna make this loop a little bit smaller here. Go. Goes at the direction our screw turns. Make sure you get the copper under the screw head all the way around. Like that there. That's what we want. It's nice and tight like that. And now we can fold our wires into our box. So up and down with our red, go down with our black, and we'll just keep our ground wire over on this side away from our terminals here. Put it into our box. back. I'm going to do it so I don't hit the black wire there. Well, that's gonna hop like a bunny, so. Round wire over without hitting our black wire there. Well, I don't like how close that ground wire is to our conductor, so we're going to unscrew this. Excuse me. I forgot my hammer, but we're not going to get upset. We're not going to get all frustrated. We're not getting worked up. If they don't have one, we're just going to use the side of our pliers. And we're not going to get upset. We're not going to frustrate. Don't carry on, because it's not going to help you. It's not going to give you what you need. So just do it without. There we go. Do you have a hammer? A hammer?
Yeah, did that.
Do you have a
Bring this
what? Do you have a hammer?
hammer.
Hammer, yes.
After the pizza, I will go there.
Okay, so we moved our ground wire. Do you want to keep that away from? Here in the country I was born in, down is off, up is on, you know, cover on. I love to forget things. There's a challenge to go without. Hopefully I have it in here, but if I don't, I don't. And I don't, so we're gonna, if he doesn't have one, we're just gonna use our pliers. And we're not getting upset. junction box here. Double outlet box. We'll push our openings in here. Doesn't go easily, just give it a good force, so we'll go. There it goes. Did you find the hammer? Okay. Now push this into our wall here. Tabs in. We'll set this back into our wall here.
They don't have hammer, sorry for it.
Oh, okay, I'll just use my pliers. I can nail with my pliers. And you know what? It doesn't pay to get frustrated when you don't have something. Just make do without.
أين ها؟ بعدين
لما
التوصيلات
يخلص لما يخلص
لف التوصيلات على القسم. وشغلنا.
Be thankful for what you have and don't complain about what you don't have. If you forgot it, you don't have it, it's behind you, it's not in front of you. So you leave it behind you. There it is. No hammer of any kind? No hammer of any kind? Okay, so the side of my pliers it is. And you know what? You don't get frustrated over it. You don't get upset about it. You just go without. Make the best do with what you got. And don't complain about it. Yeah. It's a wonderful challenge to go without stuff you need. And I love it. Okay, so now we'll get our outlet ready to hook up. No hammer. Just take a little longer. So here in the country I was born in, our outlets are polarized. Your black wire goes on the brass screw. Your white wire goes on the silver colored screw. The brown goes on the green screw. The white on the silver screw is the wide slot. The black wire on the brass screw is the narrow slot, or it could be red or blue. So we got our wires ready to go here. Make sure our copper is all even on the end here. Make sure they're even here. Put these so they're all even. Okay, all four are even on the end. Take our wire nut. And make sure they all stay even inside the wire nut by holding the tails. Okay, so we'll strip our wires here. We take off about an inch of each wire here. I'll bring the camera down close so you can see up close. So you just learn to enjoy not having everything you need. So we'll get our White on the silver screw. Our jumper white on the silver screw. Put your wire around the screw the direction your screw turns. Make sure it's nice and tight.
Turkey. How are you, buddy? Where's Turkey? You got back? You got to pick up Bert, right? What do you got going on, Bert?
Hi Fred, hooking up some outlets
Oh, you got
here.
your video going?
Yeah,
I'm sorry, buddy.
no problem. We'll get our ground wire on our green screw. I hate how that tears up my flatheads and my Phillips. Make sure it's nice and tight. We've got a nice connection like that there. Flip it over this way. Make sure it's tight. Make sure our copper's under the screw head all the way around. Take about an inch off of each end here. Always go the direction your screw turns. Make sure it's nice and tight like that. Now we can fold this salad into our box. Okay, so make sure our ground wire is down away from everything here. Get this last outlet hooked up. A little more off this. The white always goes on the silver colored screw. Make sure it's nice and tight. Make sure it's tight like that. Look at our locks over here on our brass colored screws. Okay, make sure our insulation's not pinched under our screw head there. And it's not. Okay, so now we can get our wires to go into our box. And we gotta get this ground wire hooked up. Tighten it we can. If we can't, we can't. We'll just go to the flathead if we can. And we were able to get it tight. Tighten it again with the flathead. Okay, we got a nice connection there. Our copper's under the screw head all the way. Now we just push our wires back into our box here. I love how that hops like a bunny rabbit.
I might have to do it.
centered on our box here. Make sure our ground wires are down away from everything. Okay, let's make sure everything's all good in here. Ground wires are away from everything. They're not going to touch anything or short out on anything. Stick the cover on here. Okay, here comes the fun part. I love forgetting my hammer. And going without is a fun thing. So we're going to just use the side of our pliers. Lord, I love this challenge. love not having my hammer. Just learn to love it. You know, whatever goes wrong goes wrong. You just don't get upset about it. It's not going to change anything. Nothing at all changes when you get upset. Learn to go with it. So I'm happy with what I have there. Learn to be happy with what you have. Just learn to be happy. Just be happy with what you have. Forgotten is forgotten and it's left behind. It's in the past. Don't complain about it. If it's in the past, it's in the past. You leave it in the past. Best it's going to be. There's a knot in there, and I'm not going to get upset. It's not going to change anything. Oh, this is a different pattern. It's all flat. And see how the other one is not quite all flat? which was nice and tight. And lightly on a silver screw. Make sure it's nice and tight. Zigzaggy scrounger across our bottom here. It's nice and tight. Like a accordion like this. Make sure the ground wire is down away from everything here, which it is. Instacart collar on. Turn our light a little bit more this way, and I'm going to go back and look and make sure. I forgot which light I'm going to put the switch on, the red or the black. So I'm just taking the cover off the switch to see which one I switched, if I switched the red or the black. I switched to the red. So what's going to happen here is our black wire is live all the time, so we're going to cap these together so it feeds down to the other outlet. So we'll get our copper even at the top here and our insulation even at the bottom. Take our wire nut, make sure they're even. Smidgen off of this one. Okay, so make sure they're even like that. Put our wire nut on, make sure the insulation goes up into the bottom of the wire nut. Okay, so we'll slide our wires back into our box here. So the red is our switched wire, and we're going to connect our ground wires together here and ground our outlet. Get them all even on the end here. Take our wire nut, which grabs all three. Almost done. Okay. Ground wires back into the box here. Take off about an inch. We'll close. One screw we're not going to be using. Put our ground wire around our green screw. Make sure it's tight. We'll get our two white wires on the silver screws. tight like that. Use our flathead for Phillips hops like a bunny. Okay, make sure our connections are tight, our insulation's not pinched. Flip it around, and we'll get our red switch wire over here. Loop the direction our screw turns here. Hops like a bunny, so I can use the flathead. Make sure it's tight, make sure our copper's under the screw head all the way around, our insulation's not pinched, and now we can push this into our box. Make sure our wire's going back into our box here. And the ground wire staying down away from everything here. Ground wire is down away from everything here. Everything all looks good back in there. I'm just gonna push this wire nut back a little bit here. Be careful not to hit the wires. Right there, good spot to push on it. Make sure no wires get pushed into. Try to push it back a little bit more. If I can, I can, but if I can't, I can't. Here's if I can push her little ground wires back right here. There's nothing behind that. Okay, so I'm all good in here now. So I'm gonna come down and hook up into our junction box. If I can find the cover, I'll put it on, but if I can't, I can't. If it's in here, it's in here. If it's not, it's not. And fortunately, it is. So I'll go up and stick this on here. Okay, now we're down here in this junction box. So we'll get all our white wires undone here. See how uneven the twisting was there? So we're gonna just untwist them. Is there a ground hole in this box? If there isn't, there isn't. Okay, we got our blacks here. Oh, I see it down there. So. Get all our blacks out. Okay. So I see a green screw, and they did not ground this box. So we're going to take our green screw, we're going to go in here into the back. Get our ground wire back in there. Get under that screw. If it doesn't fit, guess what? It doesn't fit. If it doesn't go, it's not going to go. You don't get upset. You just go without. Sometimes you have to go without. If things don't fit, they don't fit. It's not going to do any good to get upset about it. Something doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. But it fit, fortunately. So we'll get it around our green screw here. So we've got to ground our box here. Get all our ground wires out here. Get them all to the same length here. A fairly shallow box, so we got to be kind of careful here. Here, so we gotta get them all together. Get them all nice and even here. Hey, they all came out nice and even, so that is nice to see. And we'll stick our wire nut on here. push it back into our box here. Get all our green ground wires out of the way. Now get all our white wires together. And with the shortest one here. Okay, so we get our insulation even on the bottom here. Get our first two started. Get our third one in here. Get our fourth one in here. Third one in here. Keep the insulation even at the top here. Fourth one in here, get them all so that they're even. Okay, they came out even, so I'll clip it even with the shortest one here. Make sure all four wires are there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wire nut back on here. Okay, we'll come back into our box here. Copper even on the bottom, insulation even on the top here. This one stripped a little bit more here. Strip this one. Bring it over. Get up in here evenly. Make sure we're going to clip them even with the shortest one here. And we'll look, make sure all four wires are even on the end. So we got to clip back just a little bit on these here. There we go. Now all four are even on the end. Take our wire nut, make sure our insulation goes up into the bottom there. And we'll just push it back into our box here. A nice tight little box, so it's got to get in there tight. Okay, we got them all in without any force. Okay, I'm going to just push this back in a little bit on the bottom some more. And we'll push it up. Now everything's all behind here without any force. And now we can just stick our cover back on this here, but we're going to have to shorten these screws up. That's what I like about these strippers here. We can shorten our screws. so we don't hit our Romex connectors. If I can find my flathead, I can, but if I can't, I will just do it when I turn the lights back on. Don't get upset. And they're not here, so, and I don't even care if they're here. I'm just gonna cut my other screw. And maybe I'll just have to put it on off camera. That's no problem. I'd rather not get frustrated or get upset. If I don't find the other screw, you know what? I don't find it, and I'm not getting upset over it. Just go and buy another one. That's all. It's so simple. Okay, I found it. Now I'll look for that other screw. If I find it, I find it. If I don't, I don't. If it's gone, oh, here it is. Right here. Clip it.